Hour two. Harry Cheese here. As long as we get in the playoffs and the big name price guys step up, it's all that really matters in the end. That's what I was saying earlier.
Right.
It's really not, we're going to look back on the year. Like in Jordan's interview today, they were asking him, did you go back and watch the San Fran game? And he's like, maybe 3 times. But then they kept drilling him like, oh, did you watch it? But like, how did that set up your offseason? How do you approach after, losing?
I've actually got it, Amelia. You want me to hit it real quick?
Please. Yeah.
You're talking about Jordan in his locker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. This was at by Ryan Wood on Twitter that tweeted this out. Appreciate him putting this clip up. Go give him a follow at by Ryan Wood. Here was Jordan Love being asked about the Niners and that NFC championship loss. I think or NFC division round loss. I think that's what you're talking about.
Here with you, or I guess how did it bother you, and how long did that hangover last for you?
Yeah, no, I think just ending the season, getting to the playoffs and getting knocked out by the 49ers. I mean, whoever it would have been, that game is definitely going to sit with you, and that's what you got to kind of sit with all offseason. Is going back, watching the game, trying to see what you could have been better, what you could have done differently in that game. So it definitely sits you through the offseason and then obviously move on. But just knowing that that's the team that knocked us out, we're definitely hungry for this one.
Is there scheme me anymore? A, because of that game, but B, the playoff contention, it's a rivalry and all that. Or is just another game?
No, definitely. I mean, just having that, them being the team that knocked us out last year. Definitely plays a factor, but at the end of the day, like you said, NFC opponent, and obviously we've had a lot of, since I've been here, we've had a lot of games with the Niners, so want to go out there and get this win.
All right, there you go, Emilio. Finish your thought there, buddy. I figured we'd go ahead and play it since you brought it up, man.
Yeah, and I felt like they just kept asking him about it, like, how's that going to affect your entire career kind of thing, and all it really came down to was, look, like, we played them, they were our last game of the season. I would have looked at it either way, and why not? I mean, he doesn't need to rewatch it. He lived it. He knew that he threw that in. He knew he threw the pick, threw 2 picks that game. The one at the end to end it. That he knows what he needs to build on. He knows where he messed up in that. Why does he need to rewatch it? I'm sure it's eating at him.
Right.
It's one of those where you circle it on the schedule. You know what's going on, and you've talked about it. McKinney said it in his interview. He said. He said they asked him, like, do you remember watching it at home, the Packers San Francisco game? He goes, I did. I didn't even watch the Packers San Francisco divisional game, but his first meeting with the team or with whatever coaches in Green Bay, he said they were already talking about that game. So it's not like that hasn't been spoken about the entire offseason until now. Like, that has been in their mind, front, back, center, wherever. It's just front of mind right now because we're playing them.
Right. And again, they're 2 different teams too. The NFL changes so much from year to year. This is a different team than we played last year. I know there's a lot of the same faces, the same names, but you're more focused on the previous 4 game saturation than you are the head-to-heads, right? Those last 2 head-to-heads matter. Don't get me wrong. But you're looking at what are the 49ers trying to do right now. Now, they're coming off a stinker, right? They just dropped a game to the Seattle Seahawks. So here's how that game plan goes. You're looking at it from the Packers' perspective. Okay, we can do 1 of 2 things. Do we key in on stopping what they tried to do to Seattle? Because that's the blueprint. Okay, Seattle beat them with that. But knowing the Niners are looking at that and going, okay, that didn't work. Let's try something else, right? So you may game plan for what they did against Seattle and then go in a different direction. And that's what we talk about, why we talk about the middle late and everything. The first quarter, you're gathering information. The second quarter and the first 4 minutes of the third quarter is adjusting and controlling that middle late, controlling the momentum. And then the fourth quarter is a standalone game because typically by the time you get to the fourth quarter, both teams have deviated from their game plans a bit to counter your counter punch. You come out and punch. They counter punch, you're countering their counter, and everyone's constantly adjusting. You come in the fourth quarter, you got all this information based off of the first 3 quarters, and it's okay. This is a standalone game. Here's how we win this damn ball game. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But I know Matt LaFleur was actually asked about San Francisco here, and more specifically about their defense. Let's see what he had to say here at the podium earlier.
You've seen the Niners obviously a lot. What's the biggest challenge with that defense over the years?
They're just really sound. They're really physical. They got elite players on every level. I think like I showed the team today, Fred Warner's an animal, and I think it all starts with him and just his relentless attack of the football. It's very rare that you see somebody that can punch and tackle and take the ball away like at a rate he does. So then guys like Bosa and they've got a lot of great players. It's obviously a scheme that we like, and they play it very well.
All right.
You've seen the
His main focal point was real simple, Emilio. Fred Warner. It begins and ends with him. And he's spot on, dude. Like that. I don't know if you get a chance to watch Warner play, and like really keyed in on him. You want to know what a true Mike looks like. Watch that guy play the game of football. He is a dog. And again, when you got a player like that, it kind of reminds you of Charles Woodson, the MVP, the defensive MVP year, defensive player of the year, where that dude, every time he tackled, he was swapping and punching at that ball as he was tackling. Fred Warner will strip that ball away so quick, it's not even funny. So you got to really, really harp on ball control, protecting that football. Like I said, it's going to be in the 40s, probably going to be low humidity. So that ball is going to be a little bit slick. You got to protect the football come Sunday, man.
Yeah, Matt's always going to preach that. Protect the football, be +1 in differential. We haven't really been getting a lot of turnovers. We haven't had one in the past 3 games. Two games. So that's we were talking about how it was going to dry up at some point, and not that we were living off of it earlier in the season. It was kind of coming in heaps, but it would be nice if that kind of reignites or get a couple more sparks in that, so that it heats up by the time the end of the season gets around, because it is going to be coming and going type thing. But when we can get them, we need to make our opportunities on them. But yeah, San Fran is a completely different team. When I was listening to Kyle, he said that they were asking him about Debo and some of his runs. He said he hasn't been getting great looks, but I think that's something we have to keep in mind, that we got to be ready for Debo to run. Backfield depth, they did ask him, are we going to see in a 2 running back kind of set with the depth that they have in McCaffrey and not getting that production? He goes, I could. He said we could do that, but he doesn't want to give them their game plan.
Right.
So maybe we see a little bit of that. Because the issue is they also got Hughes check, no? Or is he hurt? No, he's playing, right?
I think he's healthy. I'm pretty sure he's healthy. He's not on the injury report, right?
Okay, yeah. So maybe even 3-back, little full house set. I don't know. But if they're going spread and keep Hughes check out there and call him tight end or whatever, that would work. The only other thing I was thinking was, he said, so they are 5-5. If they were 8-2, they'd feel a lot better. Obviously, they said 4 of their games have come down to the last 2 possessions, and they only won 1 of those. And then he said in Green Bay, he may have misspoken, but he said in Green Bay we've had 7 games that have come down to the last possession. So for his, he said the last 2. For ours, he said the last could be the last 2. I'm not sure. But we have won 6 of those 7. So they've won 1 of 4 on their last possession or last 2 possessions. We've won 6 of 7 on our last 1 or 2 possessions. That's huge. That's like how we were talking last year about Minnesota winning those 1-score games, or what were they, 8-0, 10-0, or whatever in those kind of games. That's the difference in a season right there.
It definitely is, man. We'll come back to the injury report here in a minute. Since you're mentioning close games, let's go to NFL Pro real quick. And you can see here that records in close games right here. San Francisco's 2-4. Green Bay Packers are 5-2 this year. So we definitely have the upper hand there. Look at the points per game. Dead tie, 25 points per game for both of these teams. That's 8th in the league. Point differential, the Packers are at +37. That's 11th in the league. The 49ers are at +27. That's 12th. This is going to be a good game, dude.
Yeah, it is.
Record in close games we just talked about. Average margin of victory. Their margin of victory is 10.2 points. That's 17th in the league. Ours is only 7.7. That's 24th in the league. So we played in a lot more close games. In other words, turnover differential, they're +3. That's 11th in the league. That's pretty damn good. That's borderline top 10 right there on the cusp. The Packers are 7th in the league at a +5. And then total penalties, they are 7th in penalties in a good way, right? Only 60 penalties on the year. We are 21st with 70 penalties on the year. Currently, that line, the Green Bay Packers are 1.5-point favorites. Now, people get excited about that. Oh, really? Keep in mind, At home, you're typically getting 3 points.
Yeah.
So if you remove that 3 points, right, what does that tell you? If you remove that 3 points, that would suggest that they are 2.5 point favorites. You see what I'm saying? If you
Right.
remove the home field aspect, if this was played in San Fran, right, then they would probably be they'd probably be plus. It'd be a plus 3.5, I think is what it would be. So there you go. Just interesting, man. It really is, and I'm really excited to see where the money lies there, because it doesn't feel like it's the same two teams that always play.
No.
Like I said, we kind of mentioned the injury report. We hit on it here real quick. They're battling a little bit of injury. Tatum Bethune, linebacker, got a knee injury. He did not participate. Nick Bosa with the hip oblique. Now, you mentioned that a little bit, Emilio. He did not participate today, but it sounds like, did it feel, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just going off of kind of our conversation, what you said. The vibe I got from you, and this is 3 people removed, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, perfect chain of command. That means it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no miscommunication here whatsoever. Probably Nick Bosa sounds like he's going to play, right?
Yeah. It would be. I feel like if he's limping walking out of the huddle, or I'm sorry, walking out of the stadium, then it's something different. But
right.
He was leaning. It felt like he was going to play.
Yeah. All right. That sucks. But okay.
Because same with Purdy too. Because Purdy's coming back, right? Yeah, he's got a shoulder, and he was limited, but they were saying, that he's been, going to take it easy kind of thing. They're trying to work that line. I would see Purdy playing definitely. And
George Kittle was the big one, right? The hammy, and he's limited now, so I imagine George's probably going to play in this game. Charvarius Ward, NIR, so he's good to go. There's just a personal matter. Trent Williams, an ankle, did not participate. That might be big. Did he play in the last game? Do you know, Emilio?
I believe he did. I think that was kind of like a rest thing he was saying, or like ankle rest. I think is how he said it.
So if they get George Kittle back, they're fully healthy, right?
Yeah, I would say
that Brock Purdy shoulder. I think that just popped up yesterday or the day before. So. If I remember correctly, somebody had tweeted that out and was like, hold the phones, Brock Purdy. They said he's got a sore right shoulder. So did he play in the last game? Do you know? I haven't got a chance to go watch that tape yet.
Coach Lynn said he played. I'm pretty sure he played. I'm pretty sure he did come. Yeah, no, he played because he went for – I have it right here. He went for like 150 yards, I think it was.
Okay. I may be able to go back and find
it. Here we go. It was 21 to 28 for 151 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He did not throw the ball further than 20 yards, according to Next Gen Stats. I was looking at the heat map he had here.
Yeah, I'm looking here. He was 21 of 28, 159 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, had a rating of 85.3. His yards per attempt was all the way down to 5.7. His completion percentage, though, 75%. He had 35 dropbacks, looks like, if I'm reading that correctly. So he must have got sacked a few times, huh? Yeah, he was sacked twice. There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. It looks like they pressured him 12 times.
And I just pulled up his map real quick here. It looks like he was working a lot to the left side of the field. That's where he scored his touchdown on. And like I said, he didn't push the ball past the 20-yard line. I don't think he's really pushed the ball past since like week 8, past the 20. So X and Evan back there need to, kind of play top down, keep their eyes peeled. Don't get fall asleep and get beat over the top. But that's something you do got to keep in mind.
Yeah, and you guys know how I feel. I think Purdy's a good quarterback. You might want to throw a little cover 6 at him. Make him think a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? You might look up and get a pick. Let's see this pick real quick since we got it pulled up here. Let's just grab this interception real quick here. Let me pause it. Hopefully this thing don't go too wacky on us here. I'm gonna try to get it close to a full screen. So this is the interception that he threw. Let's see if we can get a grab on exactly what happened here. Hopefully that'll pop off the screen. It may not though. Sometimes this thing acts wonky. Here we go. Wonky. They had plenty of time. Yeah, okay, so just tipped up.
Okay. Tip.
But again, though, it was, he did throw into coverage, right? He got a little bit of happy feet in there. Pressure was decent. They started to collapse the pocket right there. He felt it, and yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, there was the pick. Good stuff. All right. As far as the injury report for the Packers, let's hit that real quick before we move on. Jair Alexander obviously did not participate. I don't think he's going to play. What do you think, Emilio?
I'd love for him to, but I wouldn't. I mean, dude, if you're only coming out for 10 plays, I'd rather you not even suit up. Get your pregame in, do whatever you need to do with all your, sweatsuit on and stuff. And then, put the earbud in and call it a day. Because after this, we have 2 back-to-back Thursday night games. We have Thanksgiving and then the Thursday night game on Prime after that. So it's like, it's a short week coming up, and then we have a full week, and then we'll have a bye, extended bye after that second Thursday game. We'd have an extended bye. If it's really that bad, come back then, but at least give yourself up into maybe the Thanksgiving game for, a little bit longer time.
Yeah. And everyone else across the injury report, guys, was limited today for the Packers. Kenny Clark, Edgerrin Cooper, Josh Jacobs, Elton Jenkins, Josh Myers, Rasheed Walker, Evan Williams, and Kobe Wooden. I expect all of them to play. So you're just looking at really not having Jair Alexander, and that's a big loss. Again, this conversation we had in the first half of the show, some people may come away and thinking, man, they're really down on Jair. Jair is a great player. Hands down, Jair is the best cornerback on this team. There's no two ways about it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't make the club in the tub. You got to be on the damn football field. And that's all people are saying is, hey, look, let's stop pretending like this dude is a must-have when he hasn't been able to get on the field. Now, I know Matt LaFleur was asked about this and asked about Carrington Valentine because obviously it seems like Carrington has now leapfrogged Eric Stokes on the depth chart. We agree with that, right, Emilio?
I believe so, yep.
All right, here's what he had to say, what Coach LaFleur had to say about Carrington Valentine earlier today.
Thanks, guys. What did you think of Carrington on Sunday? And I know he's had kind of an injury plague up and down to start of the year because he seemed to be getting back to himself.
Yeah, I think he did a nice job. I thought there were a couple of instances where he was able to crack a place and make some tackles, and so we're excited about him, and I think he's got a huge upside.
And I love what he said there. He's kind of specifically talking about in the running game. That's one of the strengths of Carrington Valentine. I mean, that dude will fire off the edge when he's playing coverage. If they're in some kind of zone, he's got eyes in that backfield. And if he sees run, the viewer earlier was talking about Ja being a little bit hesitant on lowering the shoulder and playing the run. Carrington Valentine has no problem with it. That dude will get in there and mix it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he'll stick his nose in there. And you want to see that in the corner. But you don't want that to affect his coverage at all, right? You want him to stick his neck in there when you have to on a run, but I don't want you sitting on it and then getting burned over the top on a fake block and go kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. If we go to his stats, he being Carrington Valentine, and I'm going to go to next gen and pull up his tackles, and we'll show you guys what we're talking about here. We'll try to go to that last game against the Bears. Yeah, he ended up with what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tackles in that game, Emilio. 9. I mean, that is impressive, dude. Let me go.
That's impressive. I don't want to see my corner with 9 tackles, but it also means he's probably 1 getting picked on in the pass game, or 2 the runs are getting too far outside or up the field.
Yeah, and here are the plays. I'm just going to go sideline view so we can get a good look at it. And let me get it on the screen. Let's just take a quick look at Carrington Valentine since Matt LaFleur mentioned it. Let's look at his tackles from that game against the Bears. I'm sure you'll recognize where he's at here in a second. It looks like he is down here, right? Yeah. Yep. So let's watch him break on this. Look at that. I mean, shoulder first. Like that dude is in there in the mix, right?
If no one came to block me, I'm going in there and sticking my neck in there.
Right, so now you see here he's kind of playing off a little bit. Looks like it's going to be some kind of zone defense. And let's watch the run here and see what happens. All right, so it's a pass. Look at him come up on DJ Moore. Make the tackle, right?
Broke down, made it.
Yep. Waited for help there a little bit too. Get to the point of attack, like you said, break down and let the help come in and fill. Here he is again. Now looks like he's coming up on the line, going to play a little under. Let's see if it's a running play or not. Not pass. Woo, boy, that was a nice throw right there, man. And Carrington played it pretty well, right? Like when you think about it, let's see if we can pick up.
Yeah, it's a cover 3.
Yeah. So yeah, they're playing some kind of match right here, right? So he's actually, X almost picked that ball off. Look at that. That's a pretty ball by Caleb, boys. You got to give credit where credit's due. That's a
Yeah.
dive, right? And then Carrington coming in and making the tackle. To have his back to the play and then have the awareness to get turned back around and make the tackle in that quick a time is really nice too. Here you see him at the bottom of the screen again. Like a little press technique here. Let's see if he actually plays press. He does not. So here goes Caleb. Look, fight through the block. That's a press. Telling you, man.
Was that a little engage and shed?
Mm-hmm. Gave him a look too as he got up off of him. All right, here we are down here. All right, so now he's going to be looking at Keenan Allen probably is who he's in coverage with here. Run and play. Get him get in there. Make the tackle.
Yep.
Dude, this is impressive, man. Look at him up in him. So you can
Second
tell
time we've seen that. So it wasn't all. I mean, yeah, they were getting outside, yeah, but he was filling the hole. I mean, if it's that wide open, I'm happy he's filling it.
Yep, let's watch again here. Play fake, in coverage, dump it off. Look at him. See him avoid that blocker and then making the tackle. Telling you, dude, that's one of his strengths, his tackling ability. So that's what Matt was talking about. Let's get one more in here, and then we'll go back to the chat and get ready to wrap this thing up.
So he plays right corner strictly.
Yep. That's probably his dominant eye right there. He's kind of in the slot. Got beat there outside. That was that man coverage play, if I remember correctly. One more. Let's end it on a positive note. Up here, right? Probably him.
I believe so.
Let's see. All right, so they're in a tray right look. So he's playing boundary. He's covering boundary X underneath.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah, man.
Wrap him up.
Again, when you watch him play, there's no competition, in my opinion, between him and Eric Stokes. Like he is hands down a better corner than Eric Stokes. I'm not trying to pile on, but it is what it is. And Carrington Valentine, you just need to make that decision. All right, he's going to be our right corner. And even when Ja's healthy, put him over to the left, right? If you guys remember, Ja had his best year when he played left corner.
Mm-hmm.
I specifically remember that because I remember having a conversation about that on the show. Like maybe that's a dominant eye thing. Let Carrington play right corner, put Ja at left, throw Keyshawn back in the slot, and get Evan Williams back there at safety. And if you get a run-heavy team out of 11, don't be afraid to bring Bullard in to help out there as kind of that sub-backer top right. So, all right, good deal. Well, let's do this. Let's wrap up with some really cool stats here. I'm going to go rapid fire. I thought this was cool. So give you an update on Matt LaFleur. We're kind of keeping an eye on this as far as his winning percentage. He is now tied for 11th all time. I'm going to say that again. Matt LaFleur has the 11th highest winning percentage in the history of the National Football League. All right, his winning percentage is now 677. He is now tied with Don Shula. Don Shula, the all-time winningest coach. Matt LaFleur is tied with his winning percentage. Now, right above him at 682 is Papa Bear Hallis. I want to see Matt LaFleur pass up Papa Bear this year. That's what I want to see.
What if it's going to happen on the last game of the year against the Bears?
You'd have to. You'd have to just about run the table. Probably
I want to pat you on the butt and you poop my hand. So
I don't either, Coach. So again, man, the names that he's ahead of, he's tied with Don Shula. He's ahead of Paul Brown. Guys, the Cleveland Browns are named after Paul Brown, just so you know. All right.
Crazy.
Paul
Tony
Brown,
Dungy.
Hall of Famer Tony Dungy. Jimmy Lee Howe. He sounded like a wrestler in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, didn't he? Sean McDermott, obviously a well-renowned coach here with the Buffalo Bills. They're one of the best teams in the league. He's sitting at 656. Let's go down to Roy Andrews, sounds like a country singer. Andy Reid, 648. He's got a higher winning percentage than Andy Reid. George Seifert, who won, I think, at least one, maybe two Super Bowls in San Francisco, right? Bill Belichick at 647, right? Patty Driscoll, that sounds like a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
Red Miller sounds like a beer. Mike Tomlin, 639. So he's ahead of Mike Tomlin. Look who's 24th on the list. Earl Curly Lambeau at 631. Barry Switzer, Super Bowl winning coach with the Dallas Cowboys, 625. Bruce Arians, 624. Mike Martz, 624. So again, listen, he's got a long way to go. Don't get me wrong. He's only coached in 93 games. But I remember mentioning this when he was 50 games in, and people go, oh, it's only 50 games. Well, now we're to 93, and he keeps climbing the damn list.
Mm-hmm.
Like, put some spec on Coach LaFleur's name. I think that's impressive, man. Am I over-exaggerating that?
No, I don't think so. And he's done it with 6 years. You have some up there pushing 30. You have some up there only. Nick Sirianni is 2 spots ahead of him at four seasons. So that's, the Eagles could go downhill and Matt could climb right up there. You don't know, but the fact that he's done it in this amount of time with the teams that he's had, transferring through quarterbacks, through, a Hall of Famer to, his quarterback that he's taught up, different defensive coordinators, all that stuff, and he's still producing wins. That's huge.
Yeah, definitely.
Because when I was listening to that San Fran thing, since Kyle's been there, right, they've had a couple of 6 and 10 seasons in there that, in between them excelling, they get really low, get a first round pick real early, pick up somebody crazy, and then we're elite again. But it's like, no, you guys haven't had wins consistently. Like, if you're having 6 and 10 seasons, we haven't. I mean, when was the last time we had one of those, right? So it's nice that Matt keeps that steady and churning.
Yeah, like John Smith says here in the chat, LaFleur is 11-0 versus the Bears, one of the most important stats. Amen to that, man. Rapid fire here. Packers offense. PFF NFL podcast said the Packers received their highest offensive grade of the season against the Bears. And it talks about the full grade release there. So according to PFF, their offense played their highest graded game against the Bears, who was a top 3, minimum top 5 defense. So that's really impressive there, as Matt LaFleur had those guys out there ready to play on offense. PFF Green Bay Packers tweeted out this, just a quick reminder. The 5 highest graded players on the Packers for Week 11 versus the Bears: Christian Watson, 93.0, Rashawn Gary, 79.0, Zach Tom, 73.8, Jordan Love, 73.7, Jaden Reed, 73.6. No surprise there that 4 of those 5 were on offense for Matt LaFleur, and Rashawn Gary, 79, starting to get back to those old ways. Again, you're gonna see him turn it on even more as we come down the stretch here.
Yeah, our guys better wake up with their piss hot, like I said before. So.
Now, a big part of that offense, not necessarily with those grades, Josh Jacobs' achievement unlocked. The Packers tweeted this out. He now has 50 career rushing touchdowns for Josh Jacobs. This dude, man, if he can play a long career, Emilio, he's got an opportunity to make a case to be mentioned for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And it's way, way too early to even really mention it right now. Although I'm mentioning it, if this dude keeps up the pace and his consistency, if he stays healthy, right, I think we're going to look back and go, yeah, Josh Jacobs is one of the top 5 backs in the league when he played,
And the fact that they just ended up snagging him, bring him to the team. First thing you think when you walk.
Absolutely. And here's another cool stat. Jacob Morley tweeted this out. Josh Jacobs' 838 rushing yards are the most by a Green Bay Packer in the first 10 games with the team. Eddie Lacy had 806 in 2013. Boy, I loved watching Eddie Lacy play. He was a blast. John Brockington in 1971 had 806 also. It says also Jacobs' 1,024 scrimmage yards are the most by a Packer in his first 10 games with the team. So, yeah, I'm telling you, he's doing stuff that no other running back has done in Green Bay history through the first 10 games. So put some spec on Josh Jacobs' name as well. Another one to keep an eye on, Rasheed Walker. Rasheed Walker over his past 2 games, 90.2 pass blocking grade. That's second amongst all offensive tackles. 59 pass blocking snaps in the last 2 games, only 2 pressures allowed. That's just wild. So he still hasn't he didn't allow a sack in those 2 games either. So again, you look at some of those key statistics down the board. Josh Jacobs, again, Matt LaFleur's offense, having the highest graded offense he's had all year. And it was against the Bears, that tough defense. Rasheed Walker, pass blocking as good as he ever has. There's a lot of things to look forward to for the Green Bay Packers moving forward, man, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Daryl said here, Jacobs, he only needs 152 yards to reach 1,000 yards rushing. We were talking about him being the first to break that 1,000 yards for the team. Greg Rice talking about Jacobs is awesome. And then all of the NFL best free agent, best defensive free agent, Xavier McKinney. Best offensive free agent, Josh Jacobs, ? And we ended up taking both.
There you go. Goody went out there with the credit card, boy, and he racked up. I'm telling you,
he said Black Friday deals are hitting. I got to swipe the card, man, before they run out. I get it. I do the same thing.
Exactly. Let's see here real quick. In the chat, you had marked these earlier. Greg Rice said 2024 Jordan Morgan, pick 25, offensive tackle, Arizona. 2023 Lucas Van Ness, pick 13, edge defender. 2022 Quay Walker. 2022 also you've got Devontae White in the first round at pick 28. So let's go through these real quick. Jordan Morgan, we can't say, right? It's way too early.
Right. Yeah.
Let me tell you you tell me if it's a hit or miss based off what you've seen so far from these players. Be brutally honest, and I will too. I'll let you go first. Lucas Van Ness, hit or miss so far?
So far, it's a miss.
I completely agree. Quay Walker, hit or miss so far?
Hate to say it, but a miss.
Missed. I agree. Devontae White, hit or miss? That's tough.
I'm gonna have to say miss for right now.
I agree. When you draft a defensive tackle in the first round, you expect them at least by the third year. Hey, this dude, it's going to be hard to pry him out of the lineup.
I'd like to say by the end of the third, but yes, exactly. I want to see something. You need to have improvement at some point in that third year.
Absolutely. So, I mean, honestly,
past out of the past 4 first-round picks, we are one of 4 maybe at this point.
Yeah. And here's the thing, too. Every one of those picks, every one of them, huge RAS scores, all in the 9+, right? And I'm not saying you should go get a 4, all right? Don't go shopping in the 4s, but it does feel like in the first round we're falling in love with all these RASs. Let's move on down the line.
And then we slip on like a Brian Branch or something like that, or you know what I mean? So, and then that's where it comes and bites us. Or even, I mean, Braden Fisk, the dude the Ram picked up, they picked him up in the second round, no? So, I mean, he's been tearing it up. Dude comes with the energy and, you know, so like that's the kind of thing we need.
And again, it's not to say Goody doesn't know how to draft in the first round. Everybody misses, don't get me wrong. But that's why I'm team. Let's get out of the first round and pick up a bunch of picks and take multiple swings in the second and the third, you know? Mm-hmm. And those guys, here's the added factor to that. Do you think LVN came in the league with a chip on his shoulder? Hell no. He's the 13th overall pick. Hey, worked your tail off, earned it, right? You got drafted where you got drafted. Now imagine a player that got passed up on the first round, fell to the second round. You think they ain't going to play with a little more piss? That piss is going to be a little bit hotter, is it not?
Yeah. It is.
I'm just saying that's another added factor in there as well. Greg Ross also said 2021, Eric Stokes, pick 29. All right. Jordan Love, pick 26. Rashawn Gary, pick 12. Darnell Savage, pick 21. So out of those, let's call it off. Eric Stokes, hit or miss?
Miss.
All right. Jordan Love, hit or miss?
Hit.
Hit, definitely. Rashawn Gary, hit or miss?
Hit.
I agree. Darnell Savage, hit or miss?
That's a miss.
All right, so you went 2 for 4 there in that stint. So 0 for 4, what would that make us now? 2 for 6? Am I thinking right?
Yeah. Well, no, it'd be 2 for 8. But if you want to include Jordan Morgan, it'd be 3 for 8. But yeah, no. But I would say Jordan Love counts for 3, maybe 3 picks. I mean, the fact that you hit on a quarterback, you know what I mean? So it's like that's where it saves it, but still.
Yeah, no, yeah,
that's tough, man. That really is like because Jordan Love really could. I mean, I would almost give him 3 to 4 points himself, but still, we're not. You know, the fact that we have to get that to get us over 50%. That's tough. That's really tough.
Yeah, and you're right with Jordan. Like you hit on quarterback, it doesn't matter what you do in the rest of that draft. You want him to hit on multiples, but if you get the quarterback right and you got a franchise QB, you're good. You know. Yep. All right, let's see the next one. We'll take it back a little bit further. Obviously, this is before Goody, right? Or is it? Let's see. Matt LaFleur came in 2019, right?
Correct.
Okay, so Goody took over the year before. Am I thinking right?
I believe in 18. Yeah, I believe so.
So this is Goody's pick.
Jair, I think, was his first one, and then Ted Thompson is the last one.
I think that's right. Yeah. So Jair Alexander, pick 18. I'm calling it a hit. And I know we just got through having this big, long, drawn-out conversation. Based off the production you got to this point, I feel like Ja was a hit. Do you agree with that?
I believe so, yeah. I believe so as well.
Again, you're getting to the point now where it really don't matter if he was a hit because injuries are piling up. Is he available? Is he not? That's why we're having this conversation about is it time to potentially move on, try to get some kind of compensation. 2016, Kenny Clark.
2017, the Packers traded the 29th pick to the Browns.
Yep. There you go.
And then 2016, Kenny Clark. And so Kenny Clark, Clayton, what do we hit or miss?
That's tough. Here's the thing: when you look at it over the years, I think you would call it a hit.
I would too.
But I'm still not backing off my stance of last year. Like, I don't think we should have gave him that contract extension.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I feel like both things can be true. Am I wrong there? You know what I mean? Like,
no, but it's tough when you have to say yes or no. You know, I need a definitive, you know, 1 or 2 answer. You know, no in between kind of thing. That's where you just got to pull the trigger. Like, would you replace him? You know, are you happy with the production? You got to decide it. I think, yeah, as of, you know, his entire thing, I think if we're looking at Jair as his entire thing, then we got to kind of look at Kenny and say, yeah, he was a hit. But as of late, we need production.
Yeah, definitely. All right. That's pretty much all I got here. Remember, at hour 18. Anything else you want to hit on before we wrap up, man? Anything at all?
No, I don't think so. I think the only other thing I picked up from Matt's presser was that he said Saleh has been, quote, helpful. They were kind of asking him, you know, what has Saleh done? Has he been, you know, creating plays or whatever, doing whatever for the offense? He said Saleh has been helpful. You know, they're Monday through Friday, and then he is only working with the offense, and he said he gives them some nuggets. One of those nuggets would be Christian Watson's catch when he went down the sideline when he was stalking the backer. So, like he said, Saleh wanted that basic concept put in there and then kind of put to use. I like that they did put it to use. It worked out perfectly. And, you know, why not try to get the ball in your playmaker's hands?
Yeah. And what he's talking about, he called it a stalk wheel, right? Am I thinking right?
Stalking the backer where he stalked him and then out.
So let's show that play and what we're talking about. So since Saleh, let's show him some love, as he was the one who drew up this play. And let me go week 11. We'll get it on the screen for y'all, and we'll wrap up with that, man.
Just the tip,
though. When you can end the show with a little bit of film study here. So
you could have waited a second, man. I would have had it lined up. No, if I waited 2 seconds for you to finish talking, it would have been even better.
Let's see. So I'm trying to think. Is this the play here?
No. It's. I wanted to say it was when he was going towards the end zone closer.
I'm
Maybe
thinking.
Not. Let's try it. It's
either this no, that was to Chicago 7. This is it right here. You're right, closer to the end zone. Yep. So this is the play right here, and we're talking the stalk wheel.
Right
so
here,
basically, what's going to happen is he's going to drive up and run like a wheel route here, right? I called it a slot fade because the slot is kind of running a 9 fade, but you're going to see him work up the sideline here. This is the play that, based off what Saleh's seen on tape, he suggested this to Matt in the office. So this is the role that Robert Saleh's playing for Matt LaFleur. He's looking at the opposing defense and going, hey, let's do this. And when he's talking about stalking, look at what Christian Watson's doing. He's acting like he's run blocking here, is he not?
Right.
Like, or almost setting up for like a screen or something. You see him, he's kind of, and then he's gone. That hesitation right there.
And the dude sat on it. You could kind of see he was like, okay, he's not coming in. I'll stay in my zone.
Yep.
All right, cool. He's gone.
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
Stalking the backer, right? You're okay. We're setting up for a run block, and nope, we're gone. So,
and all it took was, who's that? Romeo at the top. Watch Romeo push the corner, push him right inside. Once he turned his hip inside the numbers, it was over.
Yeah, and that's that kind of that sluggo we were talking about, like almost like a little slant or a post and go.
Wow, that was a really deep sluggo. I saw what you're saying there. That happened 15 yards down the field.
Yeah. And it's not, you wouldn't really call it a dig. You wouldn't really call it a post.
No,
it's just the only
closer
thing.
to an in and up, but I like sluggo better. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You're kind of getting him to release off of you, but you're going vert. You turn him around, and Jalen Johnson almost baited him into a pick. But again, watch Jordan this time now. Look how quick the ball comes out. That ball comes out a second later, it's probably picked.
Quick release, back outside shoulder, where only he can, just like how he did with the touchdown on Jaden Reed.
Yeah. And let's see if we can get a shot from the end zone here with it real quick, if it'll play it. I have to loop through one more time. Let's just fast forward it. Let's see the end zone shot of it here. And Jordan Love with the release. I think this is it. Or is it? Nope, it is not. Or is it? That ain't even the right play right there. I know that.
No, that's the other one.
This ain't it. Yeah, so he just reset.
Go back down. Go click on it again.
Let's see this one. Yeah. I just want to see it from the end zone here. Yeah,
Here we go. Okay.
Let's watch Jordan's footwork and everything. Bang, let it go. One hitch and
Both
go.
feet,
Right?
yep, both feet planted.
That's a pretty ball too, man. Safe throw, get it out. And this is the one we were talking about too with Rasheed Walker. Look at Sheed holding up, right?
That's good. That's good work right there.
Yeah, love it. Salah already having an impact, man. Great hire there by Matt LaFleur.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody in the chat, appreciate y'all, man. This was a lot of fun. I think we covered a lot. I really do. I think this was a good show. I know I learned a lot, and I really enjoy those conversations that we have, like on the front side with the chat. Again, we didn't have that in the show notes, and that was awesome because it's. I know how I feel about stuff. I know how you feel. Like we have these conversations all the time, but it's good to get the chat involved in there. Hey, and when someone asks a question like that, and again, the question that kicked everything off is that super chat. Thank you, Jeremy, for the super chat. Is it just me, or no matter what, Jair is only going to play if he's fully healthy?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I love Ja, but sometimes I question his killer instinct. So that's kind of what got everything sparked. And next thing you know, we're breaking down old draft classes and everything, man. This was fun. So,
yeah.
Anything else, Emilio? You good?
Like Pete M said, appreciate you hopping in the chat. Hit that like button, subscribe below. Gary's got your eyes on you. Anyone on the pod, do the same. Appreciate y'all. No, man, we got San Fran coming up late game. Tom Brady calling it again. I think it's going to be a good one. And it's going to start getting dark too. We'll have the lights on by the end of the game.
Yeah. What you're probably going to get is it's going to be cloudy though. It don't matter. This is usually that one where they get that real deep glare in the glass from the suites. And then by the end of the game, like you said, the lights are on. So it'll be awesome. But got snow rolling through Green Bay right now. I wish we had snow for the game, but it's not going to happen. Look like it's going to be about 44 degrees and cloudy. So, all right, guys, that's it. Again, special shout out to Jeremy Hatter. Thank you so much for the super chat, pal. We'll be back tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. Central. We'll be giving you another update on the injury report. And we're going to dive into team statistics. We're going to talk about where both the Packers and the 49ers rank in the team statistics currently. We're going to talk overall defense, rush defense, pass defense, turnover differential, all those things. We'll hit on all of that, both offensively and defensively, get a little bit better idea of how this matchup may shake out. And then we'll also dive into some of the betting lines, things like that, and see what the gambling world is saying about this game. All right. So, Emilio, thank you for your time, man. I really appreciate it. For those of you listening on the pod, thank you for making us part of your day. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world. Go Pack, go.